Welcome back to Dunk Talk, guys. Is it just me, or does it seem like injuries have just been looming very early this season? I mean, we're just a little over a month into the season. I think it's about a month and 2 weeks. And I'm going through the injury report list, and it just is astonishing to me that all these players, they just keep getting injured with these little nitpicky injuries that just kind of keep them out of the season. I mean, with the exception of people like Kawhi Leonard, who, decide to purposely stay out of playing. At least that's my opinion. But regardless, there are players that are just not playing like they normally would, at least, I would say, halfway through the season before we actually start to see injuries. But it's happening really early now. So just going through the list of every single team, Atlanta Hawks, you got DeAndre Hunter, who's day to day. You got Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's got knee issues, and he's been ruled out of Monday's game against the Cavaliers. With the Celtics, you got Robert Williams, whose knee issues have been kind of coming back and forth. And then you got Danilo Gallinari, who, it started right before the season even began, but he had his knee issues as well, and I know he's doing rehab now. Moving forward, we got Brooklyn Nets, TJ Warren. Mind you, I'm so surprised that Nets even got TJ Warren because that's such an incredible pickup for how well he was playing in the bubble and, even the year after. But anyway, he's got a foot issue and he's barely just building his way up into practices right now. After that, we got LaMelo Ball and Cody Martin from the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo's day to day, and Cody, he went arthroscopic procedure on his left knee. And he's going to be missing 6 weeks based on what Shams Charania was saying. Chicago Bulls, Lonzo Ball. I guess they're pretty optimistic that his recovery is going well, but last we heard about his timetable for return was not a good one. And he was saying things like, I can't even put pressure on my knee. It hurts. It doesn't even feel the same anymore. I don't know if I could play the same anymore. I mean, it's some pretty scary stuff to hear, especially for Lonzo. Cavaliers, Karis LeVert, he's day-to-day. Dean Wade, I mean, he's got some knee issues. Dylan Windler and Ricky Rubio. Dylan, I guess he's out 4 to 6 weeks with some platelet-rich plasma injection for his ankle, I believe. And Ricky Rubio, he's out due to his knee as well, but I guess they're optimistic that he'll return sometime in December. Dallas Mavericks, they got Maxi Kleber. He's out. I don't even know why. Denver Nuggets, Ish Smith, got calf issues. Aaron Gordon, he's just got an illness and is questionable for Tuesday's game. You got Bones Highland, who's like a pretty important player for these guys, considering his rookie status. He's only considered probable, but he's still day-to-day due to a sore left hip. You got Jamal Murray again, day-to-day. This is more because some COVID protocols. Thank God it's not, ACL-driven. But Jeff Green, he's out with his knee. Nikola Jokic, he's out for COVID protocols. Colin Gillespie, it just says he's out. Detroit Pistons, you got Sadiq Bey. I guess he had a sprained right ankle and that he won't be available for some time. Cade Cunningham, he's got his lower leg, stress fracture in his shin. And Isaiah Stewart, he's been diagnosed with a big toe sprain and is going to be reevaluated in about 3 weeks. I mean, these are like key players for every team that are just having these injuries that honestly, it baffles me. I mean, are they being played too much? Is 82 games too much? Some people make the argument that, these players should play regardless because they're professionals and they train their bodies for this and they take care of themselves. But I mean, at what point do we look at these games and say, they're getting beat up pretty much every game as the game gets more and more elevated throughout the years? Maybe even more aggressive, who knows? But, these guys are just in and out of the league, and people are paying money to come see these top players, and we can't even see them on a consistent basis. It's pretty wild, but moving forward, Golden State Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, he's been, ruled out for the game. Doesn't really say why. I guess it's just rest. Klay Thompson, again, another rest, even though he just came off of a 41-point game, which was insane. Steph Curry, he again been ruled out for rest. Draymond Green, he's been ruled out for rest purposes. I guess Golden State is just resting everybody pretty much. And Iguodala is out as well. They just are saying that he's not going to play in any game anytime soon. Maybe he's just more of a voice in the locker room at this point with his age. Moving forward, we got Houston Rockets, Bruno Fernando, and Jayshawn Tate. Fernando, he's got knee issues, and Jayshawn Tate, he's going to be out 2 to 3 more weeks due to his ankle. Indiana Pacers, we got Andrew Nembhard. He's just day-to-day. Chris Duarte, he's got ankle issues. He might not even, be playing during their, 7-game road trip that's coming up after Thanksgiving. And then you got Daniel Tice, who just went under surgery for his sore right knee. So he might be out for quite some time. And then Clippers, Kawhi, it doesn't even say anything. So hopefully he's back if you guys haven't checked out my last video. But I guess he's playing, but Paul George is now out. He's got some knee issues. And Luke Kennard is out because of his calf. Again, 2 quality players. Now, to my Lakers, Max Christie, he's out, but he's still a rookie, so I don't really blame, them not playing him. Juan Toscano Anderson, he's got some back issues, so he's questionable. Anthony Davis, what can I say here? It's Anthony Davis. I love the guy. His last few games have actually been elite. He's playing like his old self. I think he had 3 games that were like in the 30-point range, or like 2 30-point games and like another high 21, but he's had insane rebounds. Now, granted, he hasn't played against top-tier teams with centers or even power forwards that would really give him trouble. So I don't know how much of this type of work that Anthony Davis has been putting in is actually going to keep up. But for the time being, he's been dominating. But even he, too, is now day-to-day and probable against Phoenix Suns because of his lower back tightness that he's been dealing with. As some of you guys may know, LeBron, he's out. He's got his inner thigh growing issue. Not really sure when he's going to come back. It takes some time. Cole Swider, he's out. I don't even think he's really played any games this season for the Lakers. Now going into Memphis Grizzlies, this is insane. Ja Morant is out. He's doubtful. Desmond Bane, he suffered that grade 2 sprain on his big toe, so he's out for at least 3 weeks. Zaire Williams, he's got right knee soreness and some patellar tendonitis. He's expected to be out 6 weeks. Danny Green, I know he's a bit older, and I know that he was traded, I believe the number 23 overall pick, traded on Thursday from the 76ers to the Grizzlies in exchange for DeAnthony Melton. I'm not quite sure how old this is. I think this dates back all the way to like mid-June of this year. But anyway, Danny Green, he's not playing. Miami Heat, Gabe Vincent out with the knee. Udonis Haslem, we know he's just a voice in the locker room. Duncan Robinson out with an ankle. Tyler Hero out with an ankle. Jimmy Butler out with his knee. Omar Yurtseven, he's that underrated rookie who's been doing pretty well in Summer League. He underwent surgery to address a impingement and a bone spur. My God, Victor Oladipo, Jesus. He's out with some knee issues. We're talking about like 4 or 5 key players from Miami who are just out. It's insane. Milwaukee Bucks, Wesley Matthews, he's out with a hamstring. Chris Middleton out with his wrist. Joe Ingles, he's gonna return. I'm not quite sure what he's out for. I think it's his knee, if I'm not mistaken. But wow, this is insane. I think I'm just midway through all these teams right now. Minnesota Timberwolves, they're lucky. Only Kyle Anderson is out, and Kyle Anderson's a great player. He's out due to back spasms, but to not have that shooting forward, it kind of sucks. He's a solid wing guy. New Orleans Pelicans, I'm happy to hear that they have their guys running and gunning. They only have Trey Murphy and E.J. Liddell out. Murphy's out with a foot injury, and Liddell's out with knee. But luckily, they can kind of survive, without those guys. New York Knicks, Mitchell Robinson day-to-day. Cam Reddish, he's got groin issues. Derrick Rose, he's got toe issues. Man, I'm sorry to hear that side on Derrick Rose, but that just got issued today, so he's out. Oklahoma City, Pokusevski, his ankle issues. Chet Holmgren, he's got that foot surgery that he just did not too long ago. It's called the Linz Frank injury that he got at that Pro-Am event. So, again, a couple of quality rookie guys that Oklahoma can't use in their lineup. Orlando Magic, you got Wendell Carter day-to-day. Chuma Okeke, also day-to-day. Moritz Wagner, he's got foot issues. Paolo Banchero, wow, Paolo Banchero's out too. That is unbelievable. He's got an ankle injury that's progressing, but it looks like he's going to be out for another week or two. Cole Anthony, he's been having some oblique issues. Markelle Fultz, that's just sad to see. I mean, Markelle's just been in and out of the league, especially for a first pick. I mean, that's just insane. He's got some toe issues. And Jonathan Isaac with the hamstring. Now we go into Philadelphia 76ers. Korkmaz, he's out due to his knee. Tobias Harris, he's day-to-day, but he's got some hip issues. Joel Embiid, oh my God. He is out, and it just says he's ruled out, but he had a left foot, mid-foot sprain. So hopefully he's not out for a while, because y'all know 76ers need Embiid. Tyrese Maxey's out too. Damn. He's out with a foot issue, 3 to 4 weeks, a small fracture in his left foot. You got Jaden Springer out and James Harden out with a foot issue. I mean, Harden's out, Embiid is out, Maxey's out, Tobias Harris is out, and Korkmaz is out. That's like, isn't that their starting five? Their starting five is out. That's absurd. Phoenix Suns, Landry Shamet with a concussion. Jeez. Chris Paul, he had some heel issues. Cameron Johnson underwent surgery for a part of his meniscus. He's going to be out like 2 months. Jay Crowder, I don't even know what's going on with him. He's just out. I just think he doesn't even want to play in Phoenix anymore. Portland Trailblazers, you got Keon Johnson. He's got hip issues. Damian Lillard, of course, big loss. He's got some calf issues. I think he just came back recently, if I'm not mistaken. But again, as of yesterday, diagnosed, November 20th, diagnosed with a grade 1 strain on his calf. So he's out 2 weeks. Gary Payton II, he's got some abdomen issues and intermittent soreness. Wow. San Antonio Spurs, honestly, they're in such rebuild mode that it's probably not even worth mentioning anyone just because they don't really have anyone. But yeah, Langford is out. He's got some conditioning issues. Zach Collins and Blake Weasley, not even sure why. Toronto Raptors, you got Banton out. You got Porter Jr. with a toe issue. You got Precious Achua with an ankle issue. You got Chris Boucher. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's day-to-day with an illness. Gary Trent Jr., hip and illness. Justin Champagnie, he's got back issues. And Pascal Siakam out with growing issues. That's 7 players out for Toronto Raptors. My God. All right, almost finishing it up here. We got Utah Jazz, Mike Conley. He has been ruled out with something called popliteus strain of his left leg. I think that's the area right behind his knee, like the backside of his knee. It looks like he's got a strain there. So, Mike Conley's out, and Rudy Gay, he's out for at least 2 more weeks with a left finger sprain. You see what I mean? Just all these nitpicky sprains. Not just sprains, like all kinds of little injuries that are just keeping these guys out for 2-3 weeks, a month. Last team here, Washington Wizards. You got Monte Morris and Rui Hachimura, both day-to-day. You got Bradley Beal, who's also day-to-day, but he's got a quad injury, or at least a little soreness. And then you got DeLon Wright, who's out, who's got a hamstring issue. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. I normally feel like I would see these kind of injuries, at least midway through the season or up until All-Star break or something. And you're just seeing it now. I mean, we're a little over a month in. And I'm a firm believer that back in the day, NBA was tough. During the Jordan era, the Magic era, I mean, people were really beating each other up. And I know there was injuries back then too. But I just feel like they were so much more durable. But now, with these new age players, it's kind of outstanding as far as how many guys are just in and out of the league. I'm curious what NBA is going to do about it. I'm not sure if Adam Silver will ever address something like this, but it would be interesting to see. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.